Welcome to Vizzle. Today we're talking about using the program to support Tier 2 interventions. We'll talk a little bit about Tier 2 and why Vizzle, data driving instruction, personalized learning, and end with a quick Vizzle demonstration. When we're talking about supporting Tier 2, we're talking about that 5 to 15% targeted support for students that are at risk. There's a variety of interventions that can be used with this particular population of students. Small group instruction, there might be social skills, academic supports, and positive reinforcement. So we always kind of come back to these three main pillars. So number one, tiered content. As you go in, you can search and explore and look for resources to support the standards, but have opportunities to provide layers of differentiation. So if you need additional visual supports or extra resources, we want to make sure when we're assigning things, it's automatically collecting data for you to make progress monitoring a snap. And of course, personalized experiences. It's going to look very different from elementary than it should for high school students. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite ways to use Vizzle for Tier 2, starting with explicit academic instruction, targeting small groups, social skills, independent work, and of course, just skill assessment and progress monitoring. So let's start by putting some of these pieces into action. When we talk about evidence-based practices, we talk about universal design for learning a lot, our basis and premise in terms of multisensory learning, action, expression, engagement. When we're talking about our students, important to know how they're doing academically, understand their interests, learning styles, backgrounds. All of this leads into student success. We want to make sure that we're helping with those weaknesses and providing inspiration and motivation. We want to meet them where they are and move them forward with ease. At the end of the day, we always want to make sure that we're kind of working them through this flow. We're going to check for prior knowledge, see what the student knows, do some direct instruction, that explicit instruction around vocabulary and skills. Practice and generalization activities. We always want them to do it more than one way, more than one time. And we're going to end by reevaluating and seeing what that student knows. As we explore Vizzle, we have a variety of libraries, and it's important to know that all of them have lessons that can be assigned and automatically track data. Progress monitoring is key. We really want to make sure that they're moving forward, closing gaps on that learning journey. Activities can also be printed. So each of our topics has a series of lessons, but you can do them in lots of different ways by printing them out or looking in our classic library for additional activities. Everything is also editable. So if you find that you want to remove a word or add something, you're able to do that easily. You can create your own playlists and always personalize your teacher and student profiles. When we talk about our standards aligned curriculum, we have K-12 content, and this is really important so that you can go up or down if you need resources for intervention or for enrichment. As you go through, you'll find lots of activities that are set up so you can do a simple standard search or keyword search. So if you have a student that is struggling and needs intervention, you can pinpoint that area, have content and curriculum, have it track that data and move that student forward. And that's what this looks like. Search, save, and assign. I call it magically collecting data. So as you go through, it's easy to see where the student starts and where they finish with any particular set, whether they're just working on supporting activities or a very specific objective in terms of moving them forward in their curriculum. You can always drill down and run a report for progress notes and export it as a CSV or PDF. Look at the individual answers to see how the student was performing, what might be thinking about when they're answering those questions as well. Digging into each student in a unique way. But we want it to be simple. We want it to be easy. Search, save, assign, have the students run the data or run the lessons with those students so that you're really having close attention in terms of how the student is interacting with those lessons and materials. Personalization is key. We always want to talk about this. Vizzle has default settings, so it's important to go in and make sure that it's age appropriate. We're looking at their interest levels. There's all kinds of features that you can add in. So if a student is maybe struggling to read at grade level, you can make sure that that text-to-speech is turned on, or if they don't need it, turn it off. All of these things are here for you to control at the teacher level as well as the student level. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to show you some of my favorite features in Vizzle. As you work through our quick 1, 2, 3 easy quick start guide, you'll note that we're going to walk you through a variety of steps, including your classroom setup, from managing students to creating student groups. This is great for those small group settings, to assigning lessons and tracking data. You'll find more detailed information below in our 1, 2, 3 checklist. I want to just focus on a couple of quick actions, so you can see how all of this kind of comes together. I have my roster set up and I'm going in and I'm looking to maybe provide support for a small group. I'm on the lessons tab and I want to point out that I'm on the academic curriculum. You can choose any subject area. So maybe I have a small group of students and we're working on math intervention. I'm going to go ahead and click on math and know that you can search by keyword and by grade level. You can also search by standard. So you can choose any grade level here. So maybe we're working on fractions. You just simply use the keyword search at the top, do a quick search. It's going to narrow all of that down for you. And then you can see the particular topic. You can see the unit that's a part of. You can see the grade level. There's lots of great information here. You can click on the details button on the right-hand side of the screen, and it's always going to give you more information, including a lesson plan, unit guide, even extension activities for additional ways to practice these particular materials. You'll also find the ability to select a level of instruction, level 1 being the highest, closest to grade level, with text choices. Level 2 adds in additional visuals, reduces it to 3 choices, and modifies the text a little bit. Our level 3 takes it down to a sentence or two with 2 pictures and an identical picture match. So thinking about your level of instruction is important, not saying that student in any tier couldn't access lessons from any level of learning here. So let's say I'm going to start with level 1. I go ahead and select my level, and then you can see the activities are populating looking at that best practice model here. So my assessment, I have some vocabulary, instructional text sequencing. As a teacher with that small group, if I'm presenting this on an interactive board, I can simply click on the Teach button on the right-hand side of the screen, and it's going to launch it, and it's going to track data to my teacher account so my administration knows that I'm working on these activities for small groups. I simply click Teach, and it's going to load it up using my teacher preferences for playback. And then I can scroll through and interact with my students in a variety of ways. I can see that there's audio. I can turn those features on and off and just click the arrows to work through the lessons and materials. I can also take the set and assign it to students so that academic enrichment, achievement, intervention, all of that's key. I simply click the Assign button at the top of the screen, choose my group. This is my level 2 math group. It's going to grab all of my students in one quick click. I can choose whether I want them to play the lessons 1 or more times, choose my date range, and simply click Assign in the lower right-hand corner. So as I'm thinking about intervention for a specific topic or standard, it's easy to find what I need. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to head back to our lessons library by clicking on the arrow. I'm going to head back to my lessons library, and I want to point out that you can find content at K-12. Choose your subject area. So maybe we're looking at science. Use the grade level filters. I'm going to clear out my search at the top, and then you can choose any of our courses. We even have high school courses set up. So for high school science, if you click on the drop down, you'll see biology, chemistry, or science, physical science. Simply click on the subject that you're looking to support, click the apply button, and the information will populate for you. I also want to point out that everything is organized in groups. So you have your core subject, which is science. You have your course, which is chemistry. Chemistry is broken down into units, so you'll see them in a sequence, 1 through 9, 1 through 10. And then each unit is broken down into a series of topics and activities, and you can see those on the right-hand side of the screen. So here is my series of topics. Here's my series of activities. Always choose your level of instruction, and it's going to populate those for you to assign in just a few quick clicks. That's what we want. We want easy information that is assigned to our students so we can go back. Once they play those lessons, we can run that data and help with that data-driven decision-making. I love the fact that I can come in and see all of the information charted. I can run specific detailed reports. All of that information for setting up and providing instruction with ease is here in our 1, 2, 3 guide. I'm going to click back on the lessons one more time, and I'm going to end with one last search. We mentioned too, for tier 2, you might have a need for social skills. You can click on our skill suite. You can choose social skills. It gives you those social skills activities. Click on the unit view, and these are set up by grade band. So where are you looking to provide support? Maybe I have middle schoolers, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my middle school set. It's putting those pieces into a sequence for me. I can simply go down and use these for that group when I'm having that small group social skills session. So maybe we're going to click on self-awareness. We're going to talk about managing emotions. It's going to load up my activities that I'm working on with my students. So 1, 2, 3, super simple. Back to lessons. We have more detailed information in our Getting Started guide. Note, you can also come down anytime and just click on the standard search, and you can find all of those resources here as well. We want to make sure that you have the targeted information you need to support those students, close the gaps, and move them forward. We're excited to work with you and know that we're here. You can always click on help in the upper right-hand corner, search our help desk for additional information. Let us know how we can support you. Happy Vizzling!